Hey, what's happening? You're all very welcome to Buckshot episode 65 for Friday the 6th of July. Jeez, I struggle with dates, don't I? Fucking hell. 2018. You're all very welcome. I won't keep you long. We'll jump straight into the guest here fairly quickly. Fair play. First of all, fair play to everybody sending me barbecue stuff. Falcon Place is late, although they're trying to put some sort of barbecue ban on at the minute. Fuck that. Just don't set fire to anything and have a bucket of water that you got out of the fucking tap and not out of a hose, because you know there's a hose pipe ban. Today's guest, Richie Conroy, been a buddy of mine for a good few years now. You may recognise the surname. He is of Don Conroy fame. His father was Don Conroy from the Den. Crafty Don, the Don. He's the man when it comes to wildlife, and we talk a bit about Don throughout this, and just basically like the fucking stuff we've done together, the stuff he's done. He continuously writes for things like Fair City and stuff like that, but that's just a handy money. But he writes a lot for animation. Rich's wife is Oscar nominated. We only barely got into that. He was heading out the fucking gate for holidays. So we just about got the hour in, but we could have put 2 hours in because there's a lot more to be talked about anyway. We talked about his award-winning show, Fran, which Satanta picked up. A lot of people might have seen that. It was big on the football scene. And we talked about our pilot that we're getting rebuffed. I'd actually fucking totally forgot about it because I was annoyed to a certain degree because it was a good pilot. The shorter version, like the trailer version, is up on YouTube. I'm going to get the long version off Richie, and I'm actually going to put it up on YouTube too. So I will put it up on the Twitter account later in the week because he's still on holidays and stuff. But I'll put up the trailer to it at the minute. I mean, there's with a fairly tidy cast just in the trailer alone. But there was from Pat McDonald, past guest, John Cleary, past guest, Colin McDonald, who was in Bridget Neyman. He's in Bridget Neyman. He was in Irish Victoria Weekly. There's Pat McDonald, obviously, from Father Ted, and John Cleary from The Savage Eye. Yeah, it was just we were talking a bit ratty about it and all the rest, but we got into plenty on it. And just how about what he goes about the writing style and just the mad thing that he ended up being a total Gaeilgeoir. At one stage, he was a stand-in head of TG Cahir, and Richie failed his fucking Junior Cert Irish. That'll tell you. There's hope for all of us, lads. Fucking hell, he actually failed at Junior Cert Irish and went on to be fluent, and his kids now are fluent and everything, which I think is a good idea, because you'll never be out of work if you're fluent in Irish. You'll always be a guard or something, can't you? Like the amount of civil service jobs you can get just for having a bit of Irish. Really, they should have told us that in school, that you can get a handy number having Irish. Because the big thing was about his book that he has out at the minute. It's Dialann Emily Porter on Jailtacht, and it's a really smartly written book. I've been reading it all week. I'm nearly finished at the minute. It's really, really, really good. I wouldn't have strong Irish, but the way the book is written, it's a pure fuck's sake kind of book, but not pure, from the protagonist's point of view, from Emily Porter. It's all in Irish or in English at the beginning, and it slowly but surely it starts to cut back and forth, but it's conversational Irish, so you can actually understand what you're reading. It's not difficult Irish. I'm pure chuffed with myself that I could understand what I was fucking reading, but it cuts back and forth and then slowly but surely merges into Irish, so it's actually well worth the fucking look. Or if you know somebody who's trying to get back into Irish or something like that, it's a really, really good book to wrap your head around. But like that, we got into tons of stuff. At one point, I think I yawned by accident, and Richie had a go at me about it. That's the kind of friendship we have. But there will definitely be more on the cards of this one. For now, enjoy the fantastic Richie Conroy. There she goes. Richie, how are you?
Good. How are you, Tom?
I'm very good. I'm excusing because Richie pointed out at the beginning here, we both have squeaky chairs.
Yes, indeed.
But we're in mine is more squeakier than yours.
Yeah, I gave you the crap chair.
Yeah, I noticed that. To be fair though, it's been in worse environments than this,
No. I mean, this is the environment of a very successful screenwriter, let's be honest.
It looks like it, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
But you haven't hit, I'm looking at your walls and stuff, nothing has gotten weird yet. You don't have, red lines. You haven't stumbled upon, a murder mystery, and now that's what you're solving on.
No, not yet. No, that happens after, monetary success when, you know, you just kind of wonder how am I going to spend my days? And then
okay, right.
Maybe, yeah, unsolved murders, cold cases. Yeah.
The first time we met, because we were neighbours for ages, and the first time we met then was Emer was coming into the shop. But then we did a pilot.
That's right.
That was great. Crack that pilot.
It was, yeah. It was great fun. We shot a pilot. I wrote a script. I had an idea a long time ago. I did a bit of stand up in my 20s. There's a photograph somewhere.
Is there?
Yeah.
Was this? Where was it? It was Galway, wasn't it?
Yeah, with Jerry Mallon and...
Sure, yeah.
Jerry's great. He used to just... I never saw somebody go up and alienate the audience so quickly, you know.
He had an unbelievable ability to...
He did it on purpose?
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah. Unbelievable ability. The place could be just mummering, buzzing along, and you go, tits, gas.
Yeah.
And, oil and water.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So, on my I think it was 25, my birthday weekend, myself and my buddy did stand up, not together but on the same set, and you know, it was something I always wanted to try. A lot of my heroes would be stand up comedians and stuff like that, you know.
Stop.
Tom. But you know, but I'm talking about, like, you know, the greats, you know.
Them fellas, yeah.
No, but I mean, I was a bit of a nerd, you know, comedy nerd as a kid, and
what was your first vibe then when you did it? Were you shit in the bed and then...
No, because what I did, like, I spent a week writing.
Okay, you weren't messing around.
No. And they were, like, they did have open mic spots, and they were expecting some kind of idiot to kind of... But I actually had, like, spent a week writing a pretty tight set, 3 minutes. It was a little bit like... Like, at the time I was listening to a lot of, like, Woody Allen and sort of... So it was a bit of a kind of bizarre story that I was telling.
Okay.
About me.
You as a Jewish child.
Yeah, exactly. And then kind of, what was it? I can't remember. There was something about me looking for, trying to do stuff that scared me, you know. So
okay.
I recently captained a ship and sailed it around the Cape of Good Horn, you know. And I just kind of went, it was that premise, but just kind of going off into a sort of just weird tangents and meeting.
Sounds like that set could have been an hour had you wanted it to be, like.
Yeah, like, I mean, it was good. Yeah, it was good fun to write, because that's what I do. You know what I mean? Like, even if it's writing scripts for TV or books or whatever, but you know, you have an idea and you sit down and you work on it, you write it and you polish it. But then what I don't normally do is perform. So you're always kind of going, I wouldn't have. That's not actually how I would have delivered that line, or that's not how.
That's something. Yeah, I never, because obviously you don't get to take it. Like, it's out of your hands, isn't it? When you send it off, then it's left to the director,
totally,
and you're going, man, you've totally got that backwards.
Yeah,
like, does that happen when you see it on telly? Like,
no, completely.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and it's not always, but like, it's sometimes, and especially like, if you're working on an animation show or something where you write a script and it gets signed off, and then a year later you get sent to DVD, or, you know, not even the DVD anymore, but like, and you're going, Gilliam, they got that one wrong. But then it's a production line. I've been in the studio where they've an actor in for a day and they have to get through, like, you know, 300 lines of dialogue.
God, yeah.
And they're not doing it in sequence, you know. It's not like what you see The Simpsons. Or
yes, yeah.
It's almost like a radio play. This is like actors in on their own. So everyone does a great job, but, like, you know, sometimes the joke is lost, you know what I mean? And then you're always working with... You never do something that's solely in Ireland in animation. There's always, like, Germans or French.
Yeah, maybe you're telling me about... How does that work then? Do they just translate it then?
So everything gets written in English first.
Yeah.
Because English would be the best language in the world.
Of course, yeah. After Oscar,
yeah. I know, but it's funny, like, it all gets written in English, and because that's the sort of lingua franca of everybody.
Yeah.
And then they dub it into their native local languages, you know. So even French productions a lot of the time will be written in English by English writers or Irish writers.
Right.
Animation productions I'm talking
about.
Yeah. And then they get translated into French. So yeah, it's a strange one.
What's the most bizarre animation you've had? Like, clearly, obviously, because nowadays kids things, once, like when we were kids, like there was mad shit, like Biker Mice from Mars, Earthworm Jim. Yeah. But there was things you could wrap your head around. Now there's just blobs with legs walking around. Yeah. Like, I don't get, what's Peppa Pig like? I mean, I thought South Park was lazy animation. Oh, yeah. But then it's hilarious and so on. Yeah. But Peppa Pig, they're not even trying. They're not even trying.
But it is preschool time. You're not supposed to be watching that. Know? So if you were a 2-year-old, you would have a very different opinion.
That's a valid point.
And I have to stand up for my little Naomi now. She's a big Peppa Pig fan. So they funnily enough,
which came first, the Jelly Sweets or cartoon? Because I think that Jelly Sweets. If you've had Peppa Pig sweets, and Percy Pigs.
Oh, the sweets, Percy Pigs. Oh no, so Peppa Pig has been around for. I think it's 96. Okay. It's a long time. Oh, right. Maybe not that. It's a long time. So I was at a course last year and they were saying that it was 10 years developing its brand and now it's enjoying its 10 years of prosperity. And then there'll probably be a 10-year kind of sort of...
rebranding, like.
Yeah. But like, you know, it didn't start off the hit that it is now, you know. Like,
of course.
It took a long time to get there. And but like it's very simple. It's safe. Peppa's got a bit of an attitude, which is nice. But I went to America.
You said that like she was Erin Brockovich.
No, but honestly, you write a lot of these cartoons and the characters are very bland, you know. And everybody wants to be safe, and it's like, oh no, you can't do. You're not allowed to have anybody playing with, you know, scissors or guns because we don't, you know, obviously you wouldn't have that, but like,
really,
oh god, you can't.
Okay.
You can't have anything that like what's called an imitable act, you know. So
would Earthworm Jim make it past the first?
Do you know what wouldn't be made today in a million years is Daffy Duck or Bugs Bunny or
why? Because it's supposed to be up to mad shit. Like
they're shooting each other in the face with shotguns and.
God, yeah, but it didn't affect us.
No, I don't think so. I'm totally normal.
But you know what I mean? You haven't shot anybody in the face.
Not
yet.
Not yet. No, I haven't. But yeah, no. I mean, like, there's a whole lot of people whose job it is to kind of just censor and edit and just make things kind of safe. And you know, they're doing it for the right reasons. But it's when something breaks away, especially in like public broadcasting. So I'm talking about BBC or RTE or stuff like that, you know. But Peppa Pig was Channel 5 and Nickelodeon, so they get away with doing a little bit kind of edgier inverted commas stuff. So we're rambling on about Peppa Pig. There's a book here, you know, you can read it. It's Peppa Pig's Daddy Pig's Fun Run, you know.
Oh, fantastic! Great. I put actually links in the description. To exactly.
But I mean, this is funny insofar as like poor old Daddy Pig has to do a run and he's quite out of shape, and that's the gag, you know.
So there is actually
enjoy that, you know.
I enjoy it myself. I get it.
Like that's.
I'm out of shape too.
I wouldn't say that, Tom.
No, I trust me. I barely crossed the road.
Okay, well, we won't. Let's not. Why don't we not go there?
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Because I'll win. So what were we talking about? Oh yeah, stand up in Galway. So yes, I did stand up in Galway and I had a great time, enjoyed it. It was good to do it. And then afterwards I was backstage and there was a Scottish comic there called Parrot, some guy Parrot. John Parrot?
Yes. Well, John Parrot was the snooker.
It wasn't him, no. Some guy, he was really nice. But he was telling me about his life, you know.
Oh God.
And he's like, at the time, he seemed old to me. He was probably in his mid-40s or something.
Right,
you know?
Yeah.
And he was just touring around.
He's fucking ancient.
Yeah.
Ancient.
But he was touring around Ireland, you know, he was getting into a car with his, I think, girlfriend who was also a comic. And then they were driving to Galway, down to Cork, or across to Wexford maybe. And then, you know, doing little gigs here and there. But he was kind of like... He was like, oh yeah, you know, you should come over to Scotland and do it over here, and but he was also like, but also, you know, don't.
Yeah.
It's a tough life. You know what I mean? Trust me. You know, he was being very nice. We had a good old chat, and like at that stage, I was already kind of working as a writer, writing kind of comedy for TV. So I was making
from college. Were you?
Yeah, I got a job out of college, so I was making a living writing comedy.
And who were you writing for?
Again, I was doing like a lot of kids animation. So like we would do stuff for 8 to 12-year-olds, which would be like, after that it becomes kind of family, and they start making animations after 12.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, it was good. They were good half-hour episodes. Great way to learn your craft.
Yeah.
Am I boring you?
No.
Why are you yawning like that?
Yeah, you're boring. Piss out of me.
Come on, let's go.
Do you know what? I'm struggling with the heat, sleeping.
Oh, yeah,
sleeping.
Very hot. Yeah.
Oh, that was more.
We'll be talking about this heat for 20 years.
This and the snow. This is too much crack.
I know,
this is too much talking. Like.
It's like we're in a one of those movies where everything goes bad because of the weather. Roland Emmerich.
And how did you end up? Because the big one, and I only spotted it on the wall inside, and obviously we met to chat because we did. You got me to do an FAI promo.
Oh yeah, that's right. The FAI promo. Did we?
But that was based off your relationship that you had created. With
Sorry. So we're talking about the pilot.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, Sorry. Yes. So I was doing the stand up now. So I was chatting to this guy, and then he was like, and then I was like, oh Jesus, the life of a stand up is really interesting.
Yeah.
Like it's actually not. It's not the kind of being on stage. It's the backstage. I thought was kind of fascinating.
Yeah.
And those car journeys. Like after you've just like maybe you've just bombed.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh man, and then you have to get into a car with maybe the support act who did really well, and then you have to do a 4-hour journey to Donegal or something. So for me, I think that's a great situation for comedy.
It's such an odd human place to be.
Yeah.
Because humans don't. You go home after work and that's it.
Yeah. Exactly. But you're like, it's 11, half 11 at night. You're wired to the moon.
Yeah.
And then you're like, actually, can I, we have to get to Kitty Beggs or something like that.
You're sharing the road with truckers, basically, and petrol station stops with truckers.
Yeah. So it was kind of that was always an idea in my head, and then I pitched it to the BBC, and they were like, "Yeah, it's good, but really, you'd need to attach it would have to be like a known talent."
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And to be honest, we're not looking for anything that's media driven. Like at the time, Ricky Gervais was doing all this kind of stuff, and it's like, well, we can't do any more sort of. We don't want to have too many shows about making shows or behind the scenes
media.
Yeah.
So
anyway, I was just there, and then we met, and then we got chatting, and it was like, well, why don't we shoot a pilot, submit it to RTE? So we got a good cast. You got a great cast of people.
Yeah, John Cleary, Pat McDonald, and Colin McDonald.
Colin, yeah. Leisha Murphy was in it.
Yeah.
Yourself. And it was great. Like, we shot a great pilot. We remember we spent the day.
It came out class.
Yeah.
What was? Although when we were shooting towards the end of it, a downpour came out of the sky.
That's right.
We couldn't hear ourselves in the car.
Exactly. That's right. And we were losing the light like Terry Gilliam. It was just like, oh man, we used to get this shot. We used to get to move. Anyway, we cut together a nice promo, submitted it to RTE, and just got a PFO.
Yeah.
And that's all. And like,
you should lash that up on YouTube. Just leave it there.
Yeah, definitely.
Leave it so.
Yeah, absolutely. And then like this other stuff it's never a bad idea. You know what I mean? Like, just because something doesn't work now doesn't mean it won't work in a year.
It's just like we were talking about a joke. Myself and Kevin Gilday a couple of weeks ago, he was on the podcast, and he says, it's when a joke dies. He says, it never dies, sure it doesn't. It's like, nah.
Yeah.
Because you just haven't found the route into it yet.
Exactly,
like,
yeah.
Put it away in the cupboard.
Yeah.
It'll come out again in a couple of years' time, like.
Yeah.
So if it was like, we weren't fooling ourselves. Like, that was funny as shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, definitely. And I like Pat McDonald.
Oh, he's so obnoxious.
Yeah,
he was so.
We're used to him as being such a kind of like almost the character he played in Father Ted that time.
Yeah, ludicrously nice.
Or in Naked Camera, and then to flip that was great.
Bags of time. I'll never forget that. Like, when he comes back, like, and it was such a good one because in the pilot, Pat sits into he's the asshole. Like road worn out comedian, like who's
senior
headlining.
Pro,
senior pro.
And
I'm driving because basically I'm delighted to get him on a tour.
And then supporting him. Yeah.
He wants to pull into Aldi for a bit of fucking grub. But that is like we talked about that. That has happened. Like,
I'm not surprised.
Who was it? it wasn't Brenda Burns or somebody. They went and got like the week's shopping, like.
Okay, right.
Like they went in and did half an hour whilst the lads waited, like came out with a trolley load and got the week's shopping.
That's hilarious.
And went and did the gig and then back home again. Like, good night now.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Because, so many people are just like, I don't get it, like, but so many people are determined to get one up on other people, and you see it all the time. You're like, what do you really think you've won in life? Because,
you wonder, like, shouldn't that be a class in school?
Yes.
Like, dedicate your fucking energies in the right direction.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, don't be a dick.
Yeah.
A great class. Don't be an absolute knob.
Yeah, junior search.
Junior search.
I'm taking past don't be a dick because I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed, yeah. So that was exactly, yeah. We'll throw it up on YouTube, and you can link it. You can link it onto the show notes.
Yeah.
And then the people who are listening can watch it, and then they can say, "Yeah, that's great. Why don't you make more?"
And that's the power of the people.
Exactly.
Because the people that listen to this podcast, they're I never ever. This is a year ago now, over a year, and I have not gotten one whinge. Nothing.
No, yeah, that's great.
And it's not that I do hyper controversial stuff, but we say shit all the time that's totally wrong because we Google nothing during the show. Like you just say shit like it was 1992.
Yes.
And there's nobody. Yeah. Everybody just goes, grand. Grand. Yeah, I understand how this premise goes. Yeah. This is a conversation that's a bit of crack to listen in. Exactly. But people do come back, like especially like just the whole thing of me doing the barbecue videos was not to actually cook. It was to take the piss at likes of Donald skiing and stuff. He's like, oh my god, guys, so we have these absolute superstars of Pak Choi, right? These are the real heroes of this meal. And you're like, would you fuck off?
I know.
Fuck off! Like, stop being such a wankster. And my whole thing was that it couldn't be broadcast what I did because I swear so much through the actual cooking of it. But stuff was coming out kind of nice out the edit. This is kind of... And people are going, I love
it used to make me hungry watching those videos.
But I shared that FAI one.
Yeah.
And it people loved it.
Yeah.
They thought it was hilarious.
Yeah. So the FAI one basically. So when I was a bit younger, before I had kids, and I still had hopes and dreams, we were like.
There's a book here, just so you pointed. It's called "How It Happened."
How It Happened. I know. But we were like, let's make our own comedy. Let's do it. Because let's be honest, there hasn't been a huge amount of like great stuff out of Ireland in terms of scripted comedy.
No,
ever.
There's been great Irish people.
Yes. And that's, and I understand why that is, and it's easy to be like, oh, bloody RTE, blah, 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 and it's much more complex than that.
It goes way deeper.
But
House of Cards stuff.
Oh, totally, yeah. And when we were kids, when I was a teenager, Father's Head came out, and that was really one of the first times I saw Irish people being like funny in a kind of sitcom scenario, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, I was thinking about that this morning because I knew I was going to be talking to you, and I was like, what else? But Zig and Zag were great. And
Zig and Zag were amazing. They were so razor sharp.
That was all kind of pretty much off the cuff stuff,
Because I remember even my parents talking about it going, because they were big comedy people, my parents, because we had the BBC because they came back from England, brought the area with them, and magically it found the BBC. Yeah. So we had things like, we had Monty Python, and we had, I remember Jack D had an amazing show to have for a guy in his 20s. It was live at the Apollo, but it wasn't the Apollo, it was an underground comedy club.
Okay.
And he made the likes of, he gave guys open spots.
Yeah.
On TV.
Yeah.
And he himself can only be mid-20s.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking, this is unbelievable. But I remember my parents saying about Zig and Zag.
Yeah.
How that is real smart adult comedy.
Brilliant. And they interviewed, I think famously Jim Carrey refused to be interviewed by either Dustin or Zig and Zag because, he didn't want...
He knew.
Yeah.
He had no control over it.
Yeah, I was pretty sure I got that one right. Because obviously my dad used to be on...
Yeah. To anybody who's wondering about the surname...
Conroy.
Don. Don. He is the Tony Soprano of kids' entertainment, isn't he? Still, there's a handful of people that I would... from your childhood, I don't get overawed by... And that's not because I think I'm hot shit. Everybody's just a bare arse in the shower, basically. But there's times when you meet people, or you know of people from your childhood, like Micheál and Hertig.
Yes.
I turned into... I was Justin Bieber down in Kerry a couple of years back. I was like, Because some people are just, they strike a chord from your childhood.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And he obviously did.
Yeah.
And Don would be another one,
very good,
but he just would be. Like, so he was in so many, but he always played it cool on the outside. He never felt like he was, and he never worked direct, sure he didn't. Or did he, or was he a contractor too?
He was a contractor, yeah. So he was always, he was always a gig.
Because we were talking about this with Colm O'Regan the other night.
Yeah.
You know Colm O'Regan?
Yeah.
And Colm I was saying, he was asking, how's the podcast, who's on next? And I says, Richie.
Yeah.
And he says, Don Conroy's son. I said, yeah, because just Don is some man, isn't he? Like, he's just what he does for. And I said, do you know Don? I said, whatever became of the owl drawings. I said, they're all Don's owl drawings. He goes, really? Because we're just no. I said, Don was crafty out. He was a contractor.
Yeah.
He says, is that the reason why it's illegal to draw an owl in Ireland? You know, he turned it into a fast one. Because a man can't even utter the word owl without Imro. Don gets 50 cents every time you mention the word owl.
Oh yeah, exactly. That was true. But I have to say, I was thinking it because obviously I've been working with Dad recently, but he was going on about owls 25, 30 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you go into a Tesco or like a Habitat, I don't know if that's still a shop, or everything is owl printed now, you know?
Oh yeah.
Like, it's like kids, it's all very kind of cool to have like an owl sort of, but he was very much ahead of the game, and like he was there talking about environmental stuff. Are
you telling me that Yvonne from Harry Potter owes Don a ton of money? Is that what you're basically telling me?
Well, look, I mean, I can't talk about that. That's legal. But yeah, like, you know.
But he was way cooler than Bill Oddie. But he was very much environmentally.
But talking about the importance of conservation in the 80s was like, you know, that was, people didn't. You've ever seen that episode of The Simpsons where like Lisa is talking to Mr. Burns about recycling, and then it cuts to his brain, and then it's a dictionary in his brain, and the word isn't there. He's like, "What are you talking about, you little ragamuffin?" And so that was kind of what it was like to be kind of trying to say, "Listen, folks, we need to actually, you know, stop polluting our rivers and you know, take care of our natural environment."
But he would have been one of the few driving forces of the 80s, wouldn't he?
It was him and John Denver, basically, like, you know, two of them doing it on their own, you know. But that's who my dad is. We were talking about that because of Den and Zig and Zag and me talking
just the sharpness of Irish comedy. And seen nothing before.
But what I never understood, right, was why do we have like people like Dylan Moran and the guys who made Father Ted, Graham Lynn and Arthur Matthews, and Declan Lowney who directed it, and all the cast. It's like, I just didn't understand why somebody in EG or RTE wasn't like,
get them home.
Here's the ATM card.
Yeah.
Go off and do whatever you need to do. Right? And then we'll have a show like Black Books, which we can then sell internationally and make our money back. So actually, from a business point of view, it makes sense, you know. But there's no, that just wasn't there for some reason. And
it's strange because incredible business people too have come out of Ireland, like, who have done that, who have gone, do you know what, we'll do that?
But that's the way you have to look at it.
That's business. Let's invest in that. That's going to come good.
Yeah, like I like the BBC. Like they're not just kind of a public broadcaster. There's a big commercial part to what they're doing.
Of course there is. Yeah,
they're making movies. They're making, you know, like they're selling their stuff worldwide. You know.
And why do you think that is? Is it that were they just shy of having that buffer of that kind of money?
I think you have to don't be afraid of failing.
Yeah.
And it's okay to fail, and something doesn't have to be a hit straight out of the gate. You know, like Father Ted wasn't, like, people were a little bit like,
oh, of course they were,
when that came out.
Yeah.
And then I remember Graham Norton was on when he went to, because he was in Father Ted.
Yeah,
and he was great in Father Ted as the
iconic. I mean, there's iconic people, but he was iconic.
He was really memorable. Himself and Pat McDonald and Tommy Tiernan and a couple of others really had these. And your man from The Snapper, Pat Mustard.
Oh my god!
No, it was a good. Every episode had like these, but like Graham Norton was like
when he got that, you know, he went, this is my big chance.
Yeah,
this is my, and he took it too with both hands, like.
And then he had his chat show that people were like, really, I'm not sure, and it was all a bit. And now, like, he's the absolute king of...
he's the richest guy probably in the world nearly now.
Yeah. And it's just like, it's a bit like, exporting all... Ireland has always exported its people.
Yeah.
And, like our oil or gas reserves are like, here, Norway, come over here, you have it. Yeah. And then if you find it, then we'll find the next one or whatever, whatever the... Do you know? Fracking. Anyone interested in fracking? Come on out. And then,
come on, Leitrim doesn't matter. Let's frack it.
Yeah. Frack Leitrim.
In Australian accent. Yeah.
So, but we just have this kind of history of exporting our good stuff, and it's like, but just on purely on a comedy thing. If it was me in charge, I'd be like, here, lads, come back, do whatever you want to do, and
here's a checkbook.
And we will make money.
Oh yeah,
and then we can pay for stuff that we know can't make money, and that's fine. Like we are a public broadcaster.
But that's the infancy and the grassroots stuff. You got to do that too. Yeah. Like,
and you have to be prepared to. You have to be okay about failing, and you can't hothouse people too soon. But also scripted comedy costs a lot of money. It costs a lot of money to produce, and I understand that there isn't an unending kind of pool of cash there to kind of produce stuff, But it's tough, and it kind of like, it's very hard to make a living. It's not possible to make a living as a writer in Ireland if you're just trying to write comedy.
Oh God, yeah.
Forget it.
Yeah.
So then it becomes like, you're sort of doing bits of everything, and you kind of then if you're trying to make a living and pay the bills, then if
gotta say goodbye to your family.
Yeah, like if an opportunity comes around, it's like, here, listen, let's do a pilot. You're like, yeah, okay, but like I can't afford to take two months off work just to maybe, Anyway, so we had all this kind of stuff kind of swirling around our heads, and then we were like, right, we're going to start our own company. And what actually happened was we had this idea to do a kind of Monty Python and the Holy Grail thing,
right?
With the Fianna, right? Fianna McCool,
yeah.
Do a really low budget,
oh my God,
comedy about them.
Now, I hope you're enjoying that podcast. We'll be back to it in 1 second. But sure, look at while I have you there, just to let you know that whatever platform you are listening to, hit subscribe on it. But sure, look, you can follow me on everything else, from social media to any of the podcast platforms. Social media will find me at Tom O'Mahony Comedy. You'll find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Chatty Snaps is Tom Bear O'Mahony. Like that, if you need to update, because I'm getting messages about gigs and all the rest of it, so just keep an eye on the old TomO'Mahony.com website. Put it in the favourites. It's handy to know. Like that, I'll kind of give you a heads up on the podcast. I will be gigging all of next weekend, and then it kind of gets busy from next weekend onwards. But I will give you a heads up on it. Also, I'm on Patreon. For them of you that are new to the podcast, Patreon is essentially, it's a platform to fucking sling a few dollars towards the artists that you're digging. You know what I mean? I know this is free and all the rest of it, and there will be stuff for patrons only that will be coming online soon enough. But for now, essentially what it does, it goes to making more podcasts, and it goes to actually getting better gear. That's the whole idea behind what I want to do anyways, actually. And I turn out a podcast every fucking day if I could. But the better gear kind of gives you a bit of a setup and all the rest of it. It makes actually everything a bit faster, where you can actually edit a bit faster on all the rest of it. Patreon, essentially, it goes to any artist that you're digging, and you like their stuff, and you figure, fuck it, you know what, your man, I'll throw him a couple of dollars a month. Like that. As the fella says, and a couple other people have said, if you buy a fella a coffee to say sound for providing the entertainment every week, that's essentially fucking the handshake we're talking about. Whatever the price of coffee is in your neck of the woods, it'd be class to put it towards getting new fucking gear and all the rest of it. So like that, I'll put the link in the description. It's Buckshot. It's essentially just Tom O'Mahony Buckshot. So it's easy enough to find on Patreon, but it's Patreon, patreon.com/Tom O'Mahony Buckshot. Like I said, I'll put the description in this. If you don't fancy it, don't worry about it. But sure, look, for now, we'll go back to the podcast.
Like, so just embrace the low budgetness of it, as they did with Monty Python. Because actually all those stories to Finn are really funny, you know? Like, the Salmon of Knowledge, is a story about a guy called Finnegas, right? Who spent 7 years...
Could be amazing. When I just think of, like, how that is done, like,
Yeah, Here's a guy, right? And actually, we had notionally cast Jerry Mallon, just to get back to it. We were thinking of Jerry Mallon as Finnegas, right? So you've got Finnegas in your head as Jerry.
Yeah.
This
God,
druid, kind of Jedi Knight type of guy, right? And he's just sitting there for 7 years fishing by the River Boyne, right?
Yeah.
And he's like looking for this salmon of knowledge, right? And then he catches the salmon, right?
Yeah.
And he knows that if the first person to eat this tasty fish will have all the knowledge in the world, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay? So he's caught the salmon, spent 7 years looking for the salmon, he's got the salmon. And what does he do? He gives it to a 7-year-old boy to cook, to barbecue. And then the 7-year-old boy tastes it, bursts the thing in his
yeah.
and then he gets all the knowledge, right? And then Finnegas is left with nothing, right? Fuming. But what could have been so important for Finnegas to entrust the cooking of the salmon to a 7-year-old boy?
A woman. It has to be a bird. So it has to be a woman.
That's where the comedy for me is. Yeah. It's like you spent 7 years of your life looking for the salmon, and now you're going to give it to a punk kid. What could it be more important? There can't be anything more important.
It's nearly like that, that moment in the life of Brian when your man is by the the old naked guy.
Oh yeah,
he was exactly. The juniper bush.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, shh, be quiet. I've been quiet for 17 years. Just for 2 more minutes. Yeah, that's great. So just kind of using that sort of. So we got quite far with that job. We went into TG Cahir, right?
Yeah.
And we pitched it to TG Cahir because what we were thinking was, we were also very lazy because we lived in Galway and we were like, sure, TG Cahir is just up the road, right? We'll go in and pitch it.
And that's Galway for you too, like it's a chill place.
Yeah. And went in to meet Micheál O'Malley, and we were just like, listen, here's our idea. And he was immediately like, where's my checkbook?
Right.
Oh yeah. He was like, here's a check, go and develop it. And we were like, what do we do with this? He's like, we'll go to a bank. But we don't have a bank. So we had to set up a bank account, right? And then we had to set up a company because the check was written into we had made up a name of a company. So we had to so we set up a company, you lodged a check, developed the show, got quite far in the development, and then it didn't happen, which happens a lot. You know? But then we had this company, we're like, okay, well, let's try again. Like, that was good. That was nearly first time out, So we applied for a short film in the Galway Film Centre, and we got an award for 10 grand from the Galway Film Centre to make a film, short film. And they were like, they knew we could write, because obviously we're professional writers, myself and Mark. And they were like, okay, but can you direct? So I'll tell you what we'll do, lads. Take all the equipment for the weekend.
Stop.
Yeah. Practice, right? You don't want to be like, you want to
find out what buttons do, like
when you're actually got the cast and crew there, and we were like, oh yeah, grand, thanks. But at the same time, we had written this pilot for a comedy about a football manager, an assistant football manager. Yeah, we're like, what we could do this weekend is shoot the pilot
as practice.
Yeah, and kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So we had our friend Dara in mind anyway to play the part of Fran.
Play Fran, yeah.
And so we just got everybody together and we shot the first episode. We were thinking they were 10-minute episodes, so we'd written 5. We were thinking of a 10-part series of 10 minutes,
Yeah.
So we shot it, and then we were like, oh, there's something here, we've got something with this, and we sent it to TV3. Oh, we met TV3 and we sent it to TV3, RTE and Setanta, and next day, TV3 got in touch with us and were like, can you come in and meet us?
Really?
Tanta as well. And then, the RT thing is always just like, thank you for your submission, we will be reviewing. So we're like, okay, well, obviously, some people kind of can see there's something here, And we went into TV3 and what were they doing? Oh yeah, they wanted us to turn it into like a longer form show, like a half-hour episode where we would be like, it wouldn't be just about a football manager, then it would be about like, we had a guy who was like, what was he, like we had the same actor playing like the captain of a ladies golf club, and then it was a little bit like
I get you,
Phoenix Knights or something like that,
Yeah.
Which was not a bad idea, but
I do like the sound of that actually.
Yeah. So we shot a pilot for that, just testing it. Like we had him play this English geezer, a bit like Sexy Beast, Ray Winston, who was a fisherman, and but he wasn't really a fisherman. He was off the coast of Cork looking for bags of cocaine. But they all were like, oh, we must nominate him because he's a great fisherman. He's always out fishing, that lad, you know.
Yeah.
So he suddenly is in front of the camera is kind of clearly a criminal, but trying to kind of pass himself off as a sport fisherman, you know. So we had these kind of characters that we developed, you know. But ultimately, Setanta were like, yeah, we really like this, we'll support it. So we applied to BAI, we got funding to make the show, and we did it. And it was great fun. And
brilliant.
Setanta didn't give us any notes. They were just
really
go make it.
Well, I suppose they're a sports channel.
Yeah, and they reviewed them and they were like, yeah, this is great. Well, Tony Whelan and Setanta, he was brilliant. And at the time, it was so funny because we had this big deal with Bebo, right? That was on the table, right?
What?
Yeah, Bebo were going to it was like Setanta and Bebo, right? And Bebo were going to show the series, have it was called Roadblock or Traffic Blocked or something, that once you went onto the Bebo landing page, you'd see kind of the first 3 minutes of each episode, you know?
Right.
And they were kind of targeting a real teenage audience, you know, which is same kind of us, you know.
Yeah.
So we were like, oh, we're quids in here, you know? And then Bebo
shit the bed.
Yeah. And then shortly after that, Setanta UK went down too. So suddenly we're like, oh, you know, what we thought might be a big thing.
Yeah,
was just, yeah. But anyway, it was grand. But we, it went out in Setanta and they had a really good following on Setanta. Exactly the audience we were looking for.
Can it still be found online?
It can be found online. It can be purchased online.
That's what I mean.
DVDs, yeah, series 1 and 2. FranDaSeries.com
is absolutely class. It was. Well, he's a good. And he was in the. He was in that promo thing. Yeah, the FAI thing. Yeah.
So the FAI. So what happened then is the FAI got in touch with me and Dara, the actor, and they were like, "Look, we want to do something with Fran, you know, to promote good behaviour.
Yeah. By
parents on the sideline, right?" And I was like, "Okay." I went into the FAI, right? This is a couple of years ago, and it was like, do you ever see The Sopranos? Do you ever watch The Sopranos?
Yeah.
Do you remember when the story where they were making a movie?
Yes. Yeah.
And then the poor old screenwriter is there going, so there's a guy called, Paulie Jr., and they're like, no, you're not calling him Paulie Jr. because, you know, the guy...
There's a Paulie Jr. Yeah.
And then he's just kind of, oh God, what's all this stuff? And it's like, yeah, and he whacks the guy and they put him in the... It's like, nope. There'll be no, and you're like, oh, what's going on? So I was brought in, we were there, next thing all these heads from the FAI show up, you know. But these are guys who had no concept of making a TV
Of course,
show.
Yeah.
And they were like, so, I was just like, so they were like, you know, so how does it work? How does it make it? So do you show up and do you just put the actors there and then they just come up with what they want to say and then you just, is that how it works? And you're like, I was like...
No.
Oh God!
No.
How am I? Yeah, and then they wanted to pay me in. They were being a bit like, you know, we'll look after you. And they gave me tickets to the Ireland Germany match. You remember when we won 1-0 and VIP access, you know? And they were like, and then we were like, yeah, grand, we'll do that. And then I was negotiating a budget with them, you know.
Yeah.
And at the same time, they're announcing that they've just got 25 million from the Euros and all this kind of, you know, they splash. And they're like, yeah, so listen, what we were thinking of paying you with was tickets to the friendly against Switzerland, right? And I was like, grand, yeah, I'll go into my local Londis with 2 tickets for a Switzerland game and say, look, I can't pay you cash, but will you take a ticket for...
That is such a mafia thing to do, that.
But they were just like...
I'll pay you in meat.
Yeah. Now, you know, I was like, no, that's not going to work. You know, we can, you know, but they were... You know, they fair play. There's a lot of them there are actually volunteers.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And there's a couple who aren't, who are earning a lot of money, and that's fine. But you know, I was just like, I can't ask people to work for free. So if that's what you want, then we'll stop our conversation here. You know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But in fairness to them, they went to look in behind the couch in John Delaney's office and found some cash. I think, you know. So then we got
Pat and what's her name from Died Worms?
Philippa.
Yeah. That's it, yeah.
And then Fran, Dara, of course. That was good. Yeah.
I didn't think you were going to leave in my bit at the end. Remember, I just did.
Oh yeah, there was a big debate about that.
Yeah, there was a big. I guess there would be like.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was funny. And so they then took that clip and they were showing it. They were going around doing workshops around the country and they were showing us.
It got huge viewing. Got good viewing.
Yeah.
And people, you could see when they put it up on their Facebook page. And of course, just like we were talking about Facebook, once you look at a thing once, it shows it to you a million times.
Yeah, exactly.
And you could see, like, wow, a ton of people were interacting with it. It's like, this has actually genuinely worked.
Yeah. And also, I mean, fair play to the FAI because they actually saw, you know what, there's no point in just doing a kind of straight video here where we're dictating.
Nobody will share that. Nobody,
Yeah, it's humour. Comedy is just a great way to kind of get a message out there.
Yeah. Well, it's a little kind of elbow in the side going, here.
Yeah, exactly. And like, we can all kind of recognise, we can all be like that parent on the sideline who's been a bit like over eager, you know?
Yeah, of course.
Pat did a great job of the kind of
oh my god, yeah.
Nice cut. Yeah. And we'll put a link because it's on YouTube, so people will be able to watch it. But that kept the character alive. We've done 2 series of Fran. We did a second series, which is half-hour episodes. And again, like, you know, not to... But TV3 were like, yeah, we'd love to do series 2, you know, but we'd like to explore a little bit his life outside of football, you know. Where does he work? Has he got a girlfriend? All this kind of stuff. And we're like, yeah, that's okay. I mean, we wanted the challenge of doing half-hour episodes because it's a different beast.
Of course
10
it is.
minutes.
Yeah.
And the then controller of of TV3 was like, and one other thing, could we get rid of the football? We were like, what? Yeah. And he was like, I'm not, you can have this, I just see him in the supermarket. And I think... And we were like, oh God, we've driven all the way to Ballymount for this nonsense, you know?
Nonsense.
So we went back to Setanta and we're like, look, you know, let's do series 2. And they were like, yeah, great, let's do it, you know?
Class.
And then... like we were going to do, because we had sold series 1 to TV3, like we made it with Setanta, but then we sold it to TV3, and then they put it on, you know, they put it on a good slot, like in the evenings after the football. But then, like, when you do something like that, and you're like, okay, that was, you know, it was good. Like the Irish football team watched it, you know. We heard loads of people.
Hence why you made it because people would relate.
Yeah, you kind of want to do something that, like, it doesn't have to appeal to everybody, you know what I mean? But it's like, if it appeals to the people that you're aiming for, then that's great, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But we also found, like, it's hard to, like, it doesn't really matter, but it is hard to get a show noticed on kind of when it's not on one of the main broadcasters.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, we got viewers on Setanta that was like unbelievable for them. Like, I think they got in series 2 it was something like 190,000.
What?
Yeah, so like
that's huge even in anybody's numbers.
But if you consider Croke Park, right, full on
82,000.
Yeah, so I'm not very good at maths, right? But I think 192,000 is 2.5 Croke Parks.
Oh, I would have said 7 or 8.
Yeah. That. But that's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. If they all showed up in your front lawn,
you'd be like, I can't deal with this amount of people on my front lawn.
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah. And they're all looking at a product you just made.
Yeah.
We're because you are heading away, you fancy Dan. Heading away on holidays, so we're coming. Before we wrap up, we need to talk about your book, which has just come out.
God, this has gone very quick. We're just.
I know it rips by when you're having crack. There's a ton of stuff. We have to do another one. We have to do a Richie part 2 because there's a ton of stuff.
Yeah, we're still in the naughties here with the.
We only scratched one of the stars off the proverbial scratch card.
Sure. Oh yeah, we didn't get to talk about the whole Canada thing.
No, and you want to hear? People are going to want to hear about the Canada, your Bear Grylls moment, the fact that you're.
I have my knife still here.
Do you?
Yeah.
Your
where is it? There.
Your wife's incredible achievements.
Yes, indeed.
Does that hurt at all? Like, do you know? She was Academy Award nominated.
That's right.
You weren't.
No.
Just saying, like it would sting me a little.
Oh no, not at all.
Oh, this is the real deal. It's made in Sweden and everything.
Yeah.
That's a nice knife.
Yeah. I thought you'd.
That's one that would hold an edge.
Yeah.
So that's a real stabby one, isn't it? That's properly long shot, kidney shot.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, this is really good podcast listening, is me swiping a knife across. But let's talk quickly about the book.
The book. Oh, and just categorically, I mean, there's no. You're delighted for your wife if she gets nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah, Jesus, you actually would be. Yeah. Oh my good God!
We read a month in LA, going to all these parties and just been like.
Was it a month in LA?
Yeah.
And this is before you became parents too.
Yeah, so she was expecting a man at the time, so we just had the crack, you know.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was great.
Jesus, yeah, that must have been. I can only. God, I must tell you about the Galway Film Fly actually another day. I'm in a film that's in a competition at the minute.
Oh, great!
Yeah, totally forgot about it. Excellent. But we still haven't gotten to talk about your book.
Yes, my book.
It's only just out.
It's called Dialann Emily Porter on Jailtacht, and it's a book about a girl. It's set in 1994, and it's a girl's diary, and she's sent to the Jailtacht against her will.
Right.
She walks out. She walks out of her junior.
Probably relate to that.
She walks out of her junior cert after half an hour. She writes her name on the exam paper and then just leaves. And she kind of thinks she's a bit of a rebel without a cause type of thing. And then as kind of punishment, her parents are like, "Okay, well, you're off to the Jailtacht. Enjoy."
Yeah.
And she's like, "This is the worst thing that's ever happened." And then but it's a story about it's kind of a coming of age story, loss of innocence. She's determined she wants to fall in love.
Yeah.
And she's but the Jailtacht was great.
That's exactly what the Jailtacht was. Because
exactly.
At the beginning you hate it.
Yeah.
Towards the end you think, I'm going to drop dead if I leave this place.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the other thing. I remember being in the Jailtacht, and because I failed Irish in junior cert, and it was my.
You failed Irish, and you're a Gaeilgeoir, like.
Oh yeah. So I went to Jailtacht and had a great time, and then I was like, actually, I really like Irish, so I'm going to try and learn it now.
Makes sense.
And so that was the only thing I was interested in school, but after about a week and a half, you start dreaming in Irish, when you're in the Jailtacht,
Yeah.
So this book, it starts off in English.
Dreaming Os Gaeilge.
And then bit by bit. Irish comes in, and by the end.
Is that the way you've written it?
Yeah. Here it is.
Wow, that's brilliant.
Yeah,
that is so good.
So it all starts in English.
That is so good. Wow.
And it's So we launched it at the Dalkey Book Festival 2 weeks ago, which is great, and we had Mary Kingston there to launch the book, and then. It's been good, yeah. There's been lots of coverage, and it's available in all the good bookstores, Debray, Eason's, all the.
So Dialann Emily Porter on Jailtacht. I love that on jail, because I was going. Has he said something there that I don't understand? Not that I'm good at Irish, but I definitely should understand. Oh, Jailtacht. So even halfway while you were saying it, I'm saying nothing now until you actually see the book on Jailtacht. That's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Again, I'll put a link to its description on the watching column where it can be bought and everything else.
Great.
But that's one I properly would want to read that. Not because I know you, but even just to swing through it here, it's like, oh yeah, this isn't the type of Irish that I don't understand. I can actually get this.
Well, that's my thing. I absolutely believe people understand Irish and they don't realise it. Go on.
Yeah. We had a dowse of Kayla until the final dance. Yeah, so you crossed over. Wow, was that hard to write? Right. I mean, you the writing flows out of you.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's your book.
Throw my book on.
I'll just tell you now.
That's your copy.
Is it?
Yeah.
Will you sign it?
I will. Yeah, it's €12. But
yeah, of course.
I won't sign now. Wait after.
Yeah.
But what was the question?
Was it how difficult? The cross, like I just read there, the cross, like halfway during a sentence, you just rip back into English.
Yeah. So what I wanted to do was, we kind of have we try and do it. An English sentence and maybe an Irish sentence. We try not to kind of mix sentences too much at the beginning, and then at the towards as she gets more competent, the Irish gets a little bit more, a little bit Costa, a little bit. But I've had people who've read it who haven't been to school for 25 years.
I actually cannot wait to read it now, because that's actually getting me, because I didn't like Irish until I went to the Gaeltacht.
Yeah, what Gaeltacht did you go to?
Ballingearig in West Cork.
Oh, lovely! Yeah,
I went there on a GA scholarship.
Super.
I had no intention of going, but the next thing, I was all right. I don't think I was I was better at rugby, but I was never amazing at sports, but I was all right.
Yeah.
But I was very all right.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would throw my guts into it.
Yes, indeed, yeah.
Because I think I'm more like the camaraderie of hanging out and actually getting like physically hurt, never really stressed me. Like, I was just good enough to just run into things. Like, and that is a big appreciation. If nothing else, it's motivating for the really talented people around you.
You need.
But for some reason, I went. Somebody in the J Club said, when there's this board where, do you want to go to it? I said to my parents, I said, this is summer off now, not working. And they were like, yeah, whatever. And I went and I had an interview with these, and we spoke in Irish, and I was all right. And I think they were interested in the fact that I did martial arts more so than GA. And that I wasn't a complete lunatic. Next thing I know, I get a letter 2 days later saying Cogorticus. And off down to, and I remember thinking,
what age are you? 15 around those?
15. 14. I was about 15, I'd say. I was about 15. Age. And sure, the crack was absolutely 90, because you've got, what have you got to do? You're just eating, dancing and playing sports and hanging out and chasing girls and swimming. It was just, great. There is no downside to any of it. No. Food turns up. It's like the greatest jail you've ever been in. It's a mixed jail. And you get to...
Free range jail,
and you get to... Now, we lived in dorms, which I way preferred over all the girls lived with Ben and Tees and stuff like that in people's houses, which was not my bag. I was much happier to be in dorms. Not that the crack was 90, but it's like the difference between staying in a B&B and staying in a hotel.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? There's times to do B&B and to do, but you don't want to always look at the owner of the house the next morning. Do you know what I mean? You know, it's not that you've just gone up and thrown a telly against the wall, but at the same time, you want anonymity, like, you know.
Absolutely, Very good. I get that. But it's great, I mean, it's... And it's a comedy story, you know. This is a girl about... This is comedy. She's trying to understand that.
That's what I'm guessing from you, that it was never going to be straight.
No. Yeah. She's like so her dad works in politics, right? So it's set in 1994, right? And her dad is this sort of spin doctor. She doesn't quite know what he does, right? But he's working on the peace process, right?
It's not Bertie's daughter, is it?
No.
How funny would that be for you to write a book about her, right?
No, it's not. But it's... But anyway, the dad keeps getting late night phone calls from some fella called Jerry, who Emily thinks works for An Post, because she hears her dad saying to Jerry, "Can you deliver this? Can you deliver this?" and then, so obviously, like, you and I will know that they're talking about the ceasefire, the IRA ceasefire that's coming up. But
there's nothing more Republican than speaking Irish, like.
No, exactly. And so there's little nods to things like that, and then she goes, and then she's just like trying to understand boys and like why boys are such arseholes, you know? And like why, you know, and also she gets into a relationship and it's like a week. She's like, I've never been into a long-term relationship. Which is like, that was it, you know? It's like a week, you know? But this is the thing.
You're 15, sure. I mean, a week is ages.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, I don't know. I mean, are we going to get married? I don't know. Because, you know, back then, like where we went, there was Holland, there was Bolla and Gra, which is like a big piece of paper on the wall, and if you were a couple, your names would go up in Bolla and Gra, you know. And then if you broke up, it would be crossed out, and you know the girls would be in floods of tears, and the lads would be all early.
Where did you go?
I went to Carrow.
Oh right, yeah.
In Connemara.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a story. There's a little story in it about a guy called Ronnie who. Breaks up. Well, he doesn't do the breaking up. He gets his friend. That was the other thing we used to do as teenagers.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't break up with somebody. I'd say to my mate, here, listen, will you break up with her?
Yeah.
And And then, you know, you'd never...
Can you broker a separation?
Yeah, it was the same. It was like, will you ask her if she likes me type of thing, you know? And that was... Yeah, there was never direct. It was always indirect, you know? But, like... There was a guy in the story, you know, one of the guy called Ronnie breaks up with a girl called Sandra, and then later that evening he's going out with somebody else, you know, which is what used to happen. And of course Emily is looking at this and she's just wondering what is going on here, you know, like this is, you know, she's just questioning, like she's at that age where she's just questioning everything that's happening in her world, you know. And I
cannot wait to read it.
So
unfortunately we didn't get the exclusive because obviously was it out this morning? That Tuberty's...
It was on yesterday morning.
Oh, was it yesterday morning?
Yeah.
Can't believe Tuberty got the jump on us.
He got it, yeah, exactly. So we had a good old chat with Ryan yesterday, and That was great, because they, it's an Irish language book, essentially.
Yeah.
So, they don't really get much publicity when they get published,
No, they do not, no.
So, yeah, it was great, really good, and...
Well, I'm going to crack into this, because, this weekend is bananas, I'm going to crack into it on Monday, probably Sunday night, Monday, and I will talk about it on, because I have a Tuesday pod, because I just intro the guest, put it straight out, but now on Tuesdays I have one that I call the Ramble Pod.
Oh, very good, yeah.
And that's where I get all the just shite talk.
Yeah.
And people enjoy my shite talk.
Great.
Because they think the exact same shite talk.
Yes.
It's just I'm vocalising, they go, yeah. And then they tweet me and stuff and go, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is great.
It is, yeah.
Which is great. So I've never reviewed a book before, but I think a simple person like me,
very simple.
Very simple. We can both agree on that.
Oh, yeah.
It's extremely simplistic.
Yeah.
Simplistic is even probably an oversimplistic word.
Indeed.
For how simplistic I am.
Indeed.
It's probably far, far more difficult than that to explain how simplistic I am. But I'm excited about this book, and I will give it a review of sorts. A positive one, don't worry. Well, no, because I know you're a comedy head, and everything you come at, even when I see stuff that I know you've written for, like sitcoms and stuff, and I see it, I'm going, I bet he's got his tongue in his cheek there to a certain degree, but he knows he has to write straight lines here, but there's at one point he wants to stick in something.
Oh, yeah, and that's what Fair City, I do some episodes of Fair City, but you get, sometimes you be like, brilliant, I've got, there's some great comedy characters.
Yeah.
And you're like, deadly, Ray or...
Ironic that you would have written for Eric, but you had to write him straight, and Eric Lawler being
yeah.
But you know what, I'm raging we didn't know each other.
But actually, sorry, Eric's character... he used to get some good lines, but he played them kind of nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, go on. Yeah,
but I don't know if I ever told you about the time that I got approached by a UKIP MEP out in Belgium to write for him.
No,
because he came. I did a 45-minute set one night in Belgium, and he came.
Wow.
And he was he was essentially. Do you remember that Dame Edna, the guy who played the other character he played?
Yeah.
That obnoxious racist Barry.
I know.
Yeah, no, it was Barry, wasn't it?
Is the name of Humphreys anyway? Hey, go on, yeah.
But he played that obnoxious Australian politician. That's who this guy was. Pinstripe suit, floppy hair.
Yeah.
Over the top loud tie.
Yeah.
Only he was from Liverpool, and he left school when he was 14. His dad was an armed robber.
Wow.
And he was just...
the guy got punched, was it?
No, he almost got knocked out that night.
One of the guys got...
No, it could have been him,
in Belgium.
Yeah, it could have easily been him. He was such a loudmouth and he was so racist.
Right, yeah.
But he came up to me afterwards and said, I really like your attitude. I went, oh, thank you. And he's like, can I get you a drink? I said, we drink for free here, actually, as comedians. So
I'll just take the cash.
But but he says, look, you and all the gang are taking you out on the UKIP credit card. And I knew he was there because there was kind of a group of English-speaking lads who were there with my brother-in-law.
Right.
But he tagged on.
Yeah.
And this guy was throwing the credit card around. So the boys were like, yeah, let him off. It's UKIP's credit card.
Great.
But he wanted me to... And I said, lad, I don't support any of your rhetoric. He goes, don't worry about that. It's all smoke and mirrors. This politics bullshit is just to make money.
Yeah.
And you basically... He gave me the inside track on politics. Don't believe nothing of what's coming out of any of their mouths. It's so that they can get... They will give you anything. Yeah. Say they will give you anything. If the guy's fighting for the water charges, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, of course.
They don't give a fuck. It's just to get, Yeah. But this is his whole thing. He goes, look, we could have it tailored. I just like your aggressive attitude on stage.
Course,
we could tailor it, to me, and I can put in my own rhetoric. I just like the way you write. And I went, really? But the more I thought about it afterwards, now it didn't have to come. It didn't come to fruition. But they were searching the accounts to see was there spare money.
Wow.
But had I known, I didn't push for it either. Had I known you see, we could have sat down and we could have, I think it would have been amazing to write in phrases too that maybe came out with his accent, knowing his accent too, to write in frenetic things like Chucky Carlone. Can we fit that somewhere in the middle of?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Try to undermine it,
But wouldn't that make a great comedy show? Actually, if there was somebody who had completely different politics and views, but having to write the speeches for some awful kind of...
That's exactly what I thought about. I thought about writing, had it come to fruition, and I would have had a sellout show in Edinburgh the following year.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because I would have named him and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we should definitely, the idea of sitting down and having to write for somebody who you don't, but it's just a job.
I mean, imagine the poor spirits, because all like Obama's speechwriters are now, they've got their own podcast going. And
of course, yeah.
They're really intelligent guys. But imagine the poor people who are writing for, what's his face?
Trump.
Yeah,
can you imagine it?
You're just going, like, it's not even Veep. You're like Amanda. Fuck.
Yeah.
I can't make Veep anymore.
Because it's done. It's satire come to life.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
You're like, damn, well, at least he got out. Well, I'm sure he is still making it, but like, yeah, it's bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah, oh my God. Anyway, you have to go on holidays.
I have to go, yes.
Right, Richie, thank you very much. Till the next time.
Indeed, yeah, that was fun.
And that's that. Thanks a million for listening. Thanks for getting to the end of it. Fair play to you. Like I said, rate. I say this every week. Rate it. Leave a comment. Definitely hit subscribe on whatever platform you're listening to. We're trying to fucking sort out these Apple fuckers who keep on dumping all the comments, because I know there's comments. I've gotten Snapchats of people leaving comments and they're not fucking showing up on Apple. I don't know what the fucking problem is, but for some reason they ain't doing it. But do please leave a rating on whatever platform you're on. Leave a comment if you can. That'd be fantastic, because it actually drives it up a small bit that other people can actually find it. Give us a like on whatever format you are listening. Give us a follow on whatever social media you're on, so you can actually keep up to date, because I'm going to do a couple of fucking live ones and stuff like that are planned down the line. Anyway, that's the end of the podcast. We have a Ramble Pod out on, I say we do, us as a gang, us as a collective. We have a Ramble Pod out on Tuesday. I'm recording next week's on Tuesday as well. Next week's guest has been lined up. I met him last night at the comedy club. So we're all good for that. So we're almost in the bag. We're ahead of ourselves, lads. This is looking good. Now enjoy the fucking weekend, and more than anything, enjoy the barbecue, lads.